G'day. Bit of an ordinary day today on this Saturday. Supposed to have ordinary weather all weekend. So anyway, that's given the opportunity to do some Hilux modifications. A couple of things we got on the to-do list. Some of them I've already done, and I'll give you a look at that later. But tomorrow, I'm going to go into Aaron's workshop, because he's a pretty clever bugger. And we're going to do some mods to this bar work. So first things first, I'll get this removed, take my awning off. It's a bit of a pain in the ass. I've got to unbolt all those brackets. I was just going to take it off the brackets, but I want it completely out of the way. So I'll unbolt all of it, take it off. And what's going to happen is this bar here, I've mentioned in the past how it's a bit of a pain in the ass, especially to get into the toolbox and that. You're kind of fighting over the top of it. So I went around his house the other weekend and came up with a bit of a plan. And we're going to chop it. We're going to chop it here and here. And we're going to move that back around so it comes down right beside this one, and you'll still have the strength of two bars there rather than just removing this whole thing altogether, which, you know, could potentially be an option as well, but I just don't want to jeopardize the strength of that roof rack because we plan on putting a couple of boxes up there. So that's a bit later date, but yeah, so I'll go ahead and get this off, and tomorrow we'll get into that, both sides obviously, and then that'll just create a much better sort of access point to this box, and also will allow an option for a canvas side basically. So we'll be able to, as I said, have this back here, this won't get in the way, and then we can have some sort of sail track sort of system and be able to basically put a canvas side over this over the side of the tub and give it a little bit of rain protection and a little bit of an awning for when we're pulled up. And that's been on the to-do list for quite some time, but every canvas bloke has told me that that bar's in the way. Be better if it was just one bar at the front and one bar at the back. We'll chop it up, and Aaron, being pretty clever, as I said, he'll be able to weld that back together pretty strongly and pretty well, and we should be able to look into those canvas sides in the near future. But anyway, the other thing I was going to do, the good old Hilux mirror is obviously pretty small, and when we're towing the trailer over there, at times it's yeah, I don't know, it'd be just nicer if you had something that's kind of bigger, twice the size or whatever. So, when we were down at Yeppoon, a lad parked next to me, I can't remember his bloody name, so sorry about that, but he got me onto 60 series side mirrors. They actually have the same bolt holes, so I ordered some. Basically, I'm going to take those mirrors off. There's a little bit of mucking around, and I'll explain that. Get these out. There we go. A lot bigger, and if we compare them to the other ones, yeah, so there you go. Pretty much double the size. So that's a pretty good thing. And yeah, as I said, these bolt holes, they're the same width as the stock ones on here. So we'll get that off and have a look. The only thing I'm suspecting is if these 60 series ones, they've got that little rolled edge there, which looks and does actually fit quite nicely on the rolled lip of the top of the door there, but the bolt holes makes it sit down on that flat surface there. So anyway, I'll get that off. I've got another plan in mind, and we'll tackle that. But firstly, I need to get that awning off because that's the most important thing. Not to waste the time at the workshop tomorrow, just removing bits and pieces. So I'll get that ready, and then we'll get tuck into that. Right, awning's off, looks a bit weird. All ready for choppy. Right, I'll just pop these off. Whoop, straight off. Thought I broke it, but no. Phillips. Rightio, so that's what we're looking at. I'll give that a bit of a clean up. Bloody years of dirt and muck. And we'll check these bolt holes to make sure they do line up, but I'm under the impression that they do. So, yeah, they line up. So I'll bolt them on and have a look, see what they look like, but I'm thinking about moving it up onto that lip which will mean drilling new holes and probably using nut certs. But I'll see what it looks like. You can kind of see how it's not square to the vehicle. It's kind of like laying over that way a little bit just because of that rolled bit on it. But a much bigger mirror. So I might just see what it's like up on top of there. If I can get away with not drilling holes in the car, that's not too bad. But see how it tends to shake a little bit too, just because I guess there's all that pressure on. Oh, it's not really moving there. It's all in that top bit. Maybe I can tighten up the bolts or something. But yeah, not too bad. I may even just drive around for a week. The second one's on, driver's side. That's that bit of a shake I was telling you about. It's not as actually bad as I thought it would be. But anyway, rather than drill new holes in it, which would have to just move up probably about 10 mil and put in nut cert in there, I'm just going to drive around like that for a couple of weeks, see how she goes, and I might pull it off. Might pull them off and still do that depending on how they go. But I'll pull them off anyway, and I might silicone around here. Just because it's not, as I said, that little curved bit on top probably would sit better on this curved lip here. But yeah, just to stop any water getting in there too often, I just might silicone around it. But anyway, way better. As I said, about double the size of the old ones. So that should be a lot better while towing the trailer. One of the other modifications I've done, which has been on the to-do list for quite some time, is flatten out this tailgate. And how good's that? So I just pulled off the original liner. It's just on the floor there. And I've just simply cut a piece of aluminium, and I've painted it into normal bed armour. I've trimmed the top lip to the bed liner, and I've just glued it back on so the top of the tailgate doesn't get damaged. But that's worked out really well. I'm pretty happy with it. So you got a nice flat surface to prep food on, you know, whatever you want to do. I have thought about fitting a chopping board here. That's been on the to-do list, I reckon, for at least 2 years, and I've finally done it. It's actually given me the idea, especially this weekend after we're going to muck around with these bars, is potentially pulling that that toolbox out, ripping this whole tub liner out and painting it in the same stuff, and yeah, maybe save a bit of weight. But I googled this tub liner, and it doesn't actually weigh as much as what I would have thought. One other thing I'm going to do is sort out these lights. They've been in there for about, 2018 I think, when I put them in. Let's just whack them on. And as you can see, these back ones are alright, but those front two, they've had the dick. So yeah, I've got about half the light that I used to have, which is a bit annoying. I might get to that tomorrow, but I doubt it. I reckon we're going to be chopping these bars for most of the day. But yeah, I've got a bit of time next weekend, and I might see about getting that sorted before we've got a bit of a trip away. Got the beers in the fridge for Aaron tomorrow. Can't get a bloke into his workshop on a Sunday to do some work without making sure the bloke's hydrated. So anyway, fast forward till tomorrow morning. Cheers, Bruss.
Cheers, mate.
So yeah, Aaron's helping me choppy today. What's the plan, Aaron? You come up with one?
Yeah,
being the master fabricator you are.
Bit of a plan going on. We chop this sucker off straight up. Clean up the paint. Chuck it back on the wagon. Take her into position. And then we'll tuck this sucker back over that way. That's the plan.
It's going to be right, eh?
See how we go.
Got to replace all those lights. They're totally shag. Look how busted they are. Like,
Yeah, they're buggered.
even like, that must have what's happened. Water's got in there because all that plastic's just cracked.
Yeah.
We've made some brackets up. Well, Aaron's made some brackets up.
That should do the trick, I think.
Be a lot stronger, eh?
Yep. 100%.
Yeah, tack to them. Toolbox remains in the same position.
Yep.
So we'll just tack onto these. And
Happy days. Should look sick, mate.
put 2 bolts in, so it's 2 beers, and then we'll put the next ones in.
can't rush these things, mate.
No.
Think it through.
Bolt of beer. Oh fuck!
Yep.
Here we go.
Here we go.
It's,
She's getting in the cut.
Was it 19 years of Toyota rack coming to an end?
Hit it. Nice cutting, mate.
So it's not straight as cut, mate.
Yeah, I'll be able to jimmy that up.
Yeah, you'll sort
No
that out.
worries.
Just do a classic sausage sizzle for once. Got a bloke into his workshop on a Sunday. Must give beer and lunch. And what's better than a sausage sizzle for lunch? Probably more than enough for two blokes though.